This book is amazing. It's immaculate. This book is great. Welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lady Lauren Explore, and I have something that this is my favorite book of all time right now. And it's an Achillean book. It's a Rockstar romance, and it's called Pretty Obsessed by J.R. Gray. Let me tell you, I am obsessed with this book. Let me tell you why. First, we start off with Emory. Emory is an author. He is a young adult author, and he's at like a writer's block. A writer's block? Wow. A writer's block. And he asks his friend who works at a sex club, like, what can he do? And his friend's like, hey, come to the club and see if you can, like, it helps. So he does. And it actually helps him because, like, being at a sex club where there's lots of sex going on, no one is, like, worried about someone typing. Seriously, just typing because they're too busy getting their needs handled. And his like inspiration is just flowing. So while he's at this club, he's been there for a couple of months, I think. All of a sudden, at a sex club sometimes, I don't know, you just happen to glance around sometimes. Just happen to like look up, go back to your writing, look up again, go back to your writing. So this time he looks up and there's this intense eye contact with this guy who's just getting a blowjob. And he stops because like it's very intense. It's not even like the eye color, it's the intensity that's getting Embry. So like he goes back to trying to write, but the intensity makes him come back to it because like he can feel the intensity on the back of his neck. So then he looks up again and the guy is still looking at him like while he's still getting fellatio. And like they making eye contact and like having like little like ticks with each other, like how like winks, half smiles, and he's like hooked. And so long story short, the guy tells him to come here while he's still getting this done. And they have a conversation, a really nice conversation. And they kiss. And the guy just like has an intense reaction to it, if you know what I mean. And we find out that he is a popular rock star. And this is his first encounter with a guy in a sexual way. This is dual perspective. So Emory is the first perspective, and then we go to River. After this, some things happen and things become like kind of a miscommunication because River just got, and the girl who gave it to him wants something more, and he's just like, hey, I only paid you for this. I'm sorry. I just want this, only wanted that. But he had told Emory to like just hold on for a minute. But when he gets done with the girl, Emory's gone. So he goes to the bartender, because that's Emory's friend, and the bartender's like, hey, if Emory's gone, I'm not going to give you a chance to ruin it. He's gone for a reason. I know your type. You think you can run the world just because you have money and you're famous and all kind of stuff. And like, just like, what? I love this book. So this starts the obsession. River goes back to his hotel and we meet Iris. Iris is a lost soul who I love dearly. I love Iris. Iris is I just want to cuddle Iris so hard and just I need him in my life. I want to be with him spiritually. I just need him to be all right. So we meet Iris, who is the lead singer of their band. And he's trying to get River to be like, talk about what happened. And River Charlie tells him what's going on. He's like, hey, if you found this person, you found this connection, go for it. And so River tries to find Emery. And we find out like Emery is like a very well-known author, like very like almost more popular. I think he is more popular than the band in like famous type of way. This is so good. But he can't find anything about how to get in contact with Emery. So Iris and River decided to go back to the club because Emery in the conversation told River that he goes to the club to get rid of his writer's block. So they decided to go back to figure out if he's going to be there again. And it just so happens that he is. And then starts their situation. And it is just so good. When I tell you, like, this is so good. Like, okay, let me tell you this. I almost didn't buy this book. I was just scrolling on Amazon trying to find like other books to read. And I was going through like just books. And at first the title didn't get me because I was like, oh, just the Rockstar romance. The page count didn't get me. So the first reviewer said something that got to me. They wrote a negative review saying that they didn't like this book because of the author's lifestyle. And so then I looked up the author's lifestyle because like it's in like the bio, and I was just like, I'm buying this book now. This author deserves my money. If this person doesn't like them because of their lifestyle, then they need my money. They need it. And I am going to give it to them. And then I was like, oh, synopsis. This sounds perfect now. I'm so glad. Whoever that person was, thank you. I know you're probably not going to watch this video, but thank you. You made my day. This is my favorite book. This is so good. And I can't wait for book 2 to come out because I think book 2 is Iris and Caspian's book because it's friends to enemies to lovers. And I think it is. And I'm ready. I'm so ready. But so this book has angst because it's not miscommunication, it's just misunderstanding of what they want and how to get it together. Because obviously you know that like you want a Rockstar, like you're in a relationship with a Rockstar, so you obviously know that what you're going to get into it with a Rockstar is like other relationships with other people. And so that you have that in mind. So in order to protect your heart, you're like, okay, well, let me just, when you're with me in a certain city, then just be with me. And when you're not with me, you can do whatever you want. So you have that in mind. But then when you have like the rock star who's like, hey, I just want to be with you. But you like that person doesn't know how to communicate that. It's just so heartbreaking. And like, oh my gosh, I just felt so much between River and Emery. And I just love that. I loved it. And I can't tell you how much this book is like incredibly written. The steam is so good as well. Like, Oh my gosh. And then there is infidelity, but it's not between the main characters, it's between Embry's ex-boyfriend. So you have that in there. But there is some trigger warnings because Iris is an addict and he is going through some addictions, and it's very hard to see because River and Emery are seeing it, and River is really trying to be a good friend and trying to figure out how to balance what to do in the situation between being a good friend and not seeing your friend kill themselves, and being a good friend and trying to just be there for the friend when they don't want any help at this point in time. I love that balance. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't tell you how good this book is. Like, you should just read it yourself. This is great. Love it. I loved it. I can't help, like, I'm just harping on how much I love this book. I love this book. Like, I messaged the author and told them, I was like 100 or something pages in. Like, I think I was like 180 pages in, and I messaged them and I was like, I love your book. Like, I love it. And I just wanted to let you know that I love your book. I just need them to know I love their book. So yes, you need to read this. This is a great book. You like Rockstar romances? This is good. Like obsessive heroes? This is great. If you like just love, I wouldn't consider this insta love because in insta love, both characters are instantly in love. I think this became a rock star who needed intimacy, and he needed this intimacy so bad that the first person to show him intimacy, not in the physical way but in the way of words and the way of just emotions, he just latched onto. And then when it came to Emery, he just got out of a relationship where the person cheated on him, and he lost that trust factor. And he latched onto a person who you wouldn't trust to guard your heart. This is just a beautiful romance. A beautiful romance. In layman's terms, this is a rock star romance with the rock star who wants intimacy on all levels with someone, and an author who is a cinnamon roll. And I think you guys will love it. That is it. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys will read this book because that book is amazing. I can't wait for book 2 to come out because I am hoping that it's Iris and Caspian. Okay, anyways, I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.